Ladies, gentlemen, welcome back. And today we're on the beta. We're on the beta for the first time. Keep in mind, there's not much released at the moment. We've just got the 2 units. So there are 2 tier 4s. That, interesting enough, no tier 3 this season. That I guess it's fine. We got the bastard sword coming, so that's very exciting. But we're gonna have a little look at these 2 units and see what they're like. Keep in mind, obviously, they're probably not finished, and this is not going to be the state they're released in. But, you know, gives you kind of a look of what they're meant to be doing and how they play. So let's have a little look. Okay, so to start off with, we'll be looking at the Lancastrian Billmen, or yeah, bill hooks, essentially. First off, they look really cool. Love the way they look. Also, the other thing that took my attention a little bit, there is 37 of these guys, so a lot. And they're only 2, well, I mean, obviously they've got the War of the Roses, so there'd be 215 when War of the Roses is over. But there's 37 of them. That's massive. But I found the reasoning. They have 8,000 health. 8,000 health. It's not much. It's not much, but, you know, 37. It's a lot. So they've got okay defenses. Their damage looks pretty good. But again, 37, cheap leadership. Pretty nice. Vet lines. I have gone down the middle here. So I've gone for this one. Extra attacks targets. This one, if no enemy stands before them, they will attempt to strike distant targets. I'm not sure how that goes. Initially, when I logged in, these guys were top spec'd up here. That just didn't feel like it was going to be any good. So I moved them down to these 2. But we'll see. Everything, as I said, everything with these will probably change. And then doctrines. We've got a brace doctrine, hoping it works. We got a brace doctrine. We got a bloodthirsty. And then we got the 2 sort of bill hook doctrines, and then just a defensive doctrine. Realistically, you'd probably want to put in potentially the cavalry doctrine that is here, to 40% reduced from cavalry charges, because these guys are probably going to be prominently stopping cavalry. But yeah, so they can take a few different doctrines. But yeah, this is what we've gone for. Simple stuff. So we'll give them a little try and kind of have a chat about it, see how they go, and then we'll look at the other unit. Okay, so this is how we're looking in formations. They sort of just automatically do this cool like bracing thing going on here. That's nice, and then we can press this take root that immediately makes them crouch down, and they do slightly better against charging infantry and charging cav. So this kind of looks like this. They like obviously put the back of their poles into the ground. That looks really cool, and it makes them do really well against cavalry and charging things. That is nice, really nice. I will say, obviously, we're in the sort of trialing mode here. There wasn't anyone on to test against, so this is what we're doing. And also, as I keep saying, keep in mind these will all this will change. This will be higher damage, and it will be they'll be better than this. But let's give them a little go versus something. Hopefully, we don't get archers. We'll start with this, and we'll get on to Thorn Strike eventually. So this is normal. They're coming in. Yep, nice. And then obviously if someone was charging at you, that is braced, I believe. This is braced, but if they were charging you, you would hit that for extra, but I think it does less damage. Oh, we got bows. We're gonna have to take them over and Thorn Strike. So this one, basically, I can't even see it while they're being attacked. So they're taking a lot of arch damage. We'll chuck that in. They're gonna run over to it and they're gonna start slashing everything, and then they'll brace down. So, yeah, let's see if we can get that used again. But it's a decent amount of damage. We'll put them up against the stalwarts now, but I know these guys are a little bit squishy at the moment. But we'll see how they get on. Give them a little heal. Oh yeah, and formation we have obviously like a C-shaped formation that looks pretty cool, to be honest. Nice little open, makes a little kind of wall. Then we got like a side triangle that's an interesting, haven't seen this one before. I'm not sure when you'd use this one, but it's cool. And then obviously just the standard block formation. I like how they like all stack up really close together. They look awesome. They're really cool. Let's see how they get on versus these kind of fake stalwarts. I'm going to leave them unbraced for now. I'm guessing they're probably going to instantly get clapped because stalwarts are strong. And then if I click 2, oh no, they are nailing. The bleeds are stacking. If I click 2, we'll see what happens. They sort of launch in there now. They're braced up again, and they've like instantly braced up. Okay, well they lost. Okay, they seem to be, if you brace them, if you do the one brace, it's actually a bit less damage, but obviously it seems like it's going to be better for when things are charging you. So you want to be kind of out of that. Out of this when things are not charging at you. They have more free movement out of it. That is nice. And then obviously, with the last remaining, let's do the 2 ability that makes them really tanky for a few seconds, that decreases, and then they do some good, decent damage, but do a little like sweep, and then they're probably going to brace up, or are they just going to try and hit? See if we can put them in there and brace them up. No, that spells the end for those. Yeah, cool unit. I think it's got a bit of work to be done with it, and a bit of figuring out. Obviously, I've only had a few minutes to sort of have a look and see how they work. But coming into the next, because we'll do these videos quite a lot, in the coming few weeks, we'll find out. We'll go do some proper tests against cavalry and stuff like that. But as it stands, that's how it's looking versus there. So now moving on to the Yorkish heavy cavalry. These guys obviously looking pretty good. Kind of looking like chevaliers mixed with the new Order of the Dragon. Sort of. Like they got that sort of similar vibe. But they do some different things here. Vet line wise, let's just do this quickly. I've gone top. I haven't really read much into this. Immune to crowd control. That does sound okay. Both lines look pretty good, to be honest. But we'll just go top line. Cavalry will launch, charge, rapidly strike their targets. Sounds good. And then doctrines. We've just got the Yorkish cavalry doctrines that increase movement speed, restore some health, combat doctrine, and then both defense doctrines. Again, randomly shoving them in. You'd probably be good to put some sort of speed doctrine, speed these guys up a bit. But yeah. Now the cool thing about these guys is they can dismount. I thought the Order of the Dragon, when that first released on beta, I thought that was going to be what it did. But they've done it with these guys, so they can dismount off their horse and become basically a really kind of heavy guard for your hero. They cover commander really well, or well enough at the moment. And then they've got a charge. Just they launch into a. Oh wait, no. This is the cover commander-esque when they're on the horse, and they'll launch back and forward, and then they've got. They have a charge somewhere. That is this one that is blanked out, not working at the moment, but that is essentially a charge. Their attributes, 13,000 health. That I imagine these stats will probably go up. Again, don't look into these too much. I think this will probably end up being around 14. No, Actually, it might be right. I keep forgetting these are not a tier 5. These are tier 4, so it would make sense. But let's go give them a try. Bless them. Moving on to the cavalry. Okay, so if we pull out these, so the number 2 ability is like a little charge, so we can sort of like charge them through, and that does that, and then we can call them back with cover commander, and they'll follow me around a bit. That's kind of cool. And then if I want to bring them back over, I guess you just click that. I'm not sure it's working 100% properly, but I think you basically are meant to go to a destination and then click 3, so they'll just come and find you essentially. So I'm over here, they're standing there. If I press 3, they'll come zooming over and then stop next to me. And then whatever's going on there, whatever they decided, this is, I don't know what this is, but something's happening. Is that part of it? It's very cool. Okay, so now they are following. So now if we do this, they'll... Okay, that's working properly now. And then we'll roam around. We've lost one there. But we want to take care of these. We can now drop them off their mounts. Pull them into combat. And in they go. Fight, fight, fight. Healing, healing, healing. Swish through. And yeah, they are now my guards. That's quite nice. Yeah. And then eventually, after 16 seconds, we can remount them. I think these guys will go for a bit of a change. I'm not sure a few things is working properly, but as I said at the start of this is very early beta, so things are gonna need to be fixed and whatever. The 2 ability here, Knight's Oath. Let me move this up. Knight's Oath. They basically form a ring around you, and it's cover commander, and will fight till death, essentially. Yeah. So let's remount them. Mounts out of nowhere, everyone's on, but I guess it's fair enough because, you know, we kind of do the same thing when we mount up. I feel like them off the mount feels a lot stronger than on the mount. So, yeah. Let's have another fight off the mount. Everyone knows what it looks like on the mount. Okay, coming in. Pressing 2. They're now going to be fighting for me. They do a lot of damage. There's some high damage there. They're going to be very deadly. I think it's going to be a case of, for me, using the mount to go for like range and like roam a bit and get them to places quickly, but then have them off the mount for fighting because they seem to be super cool, looking great. Yeah, well, that is it, gentlemen. That is the 2 new units. Obviously things probably will change. It's early doors. Just wanted to get a video out there, show you what they look like. You know, if no one's done that already and you haven't seen them, that's what they look like. I think there's a lot to change with them already. I think that obviously they're not quite ready, but there it is. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks a lot, and I will see you in the next one.